Well, my next guests came to prominence back in 1987 with that particular song, Run to Paradise. And even today, it remains their biggest commercial success, becoming the 11th highest selling single of the 1980s in Australia. On Monday next, the Choirboys are releasing their new live album, Pub Rock Live, it's called. So I thought we'd catch up today with the lead singer, Mark Gable, and see what it's all about. And he'll tell us something about what the band has done over the last 40 or so years. He's on the line right now. Mark, so nice to have you with us today.
Hey, Lee, thank you very much for having me. And I'm listening to that and I go, oh, boy, yeah, that is Pub Rock Live. You can hear the audience singing, which fortunately, a lot of the time, they do for me.
That's good. That's when the voice gives out, is it?
Oh, no, but it's just like they love singing the song.
Yeah.
And it's part of their culture and part of their history, part of their upbringing, so they really want to get into it, so I let them loose.
Well, I think it's a great idea. You've got that interaction between the audience, and of course they like to get up there and dance and scream at some of your concerts, don't they?
Well, they do, but a lot of people tell me, even DJs, like live DJs will tell me, they go, if the audience is not happening, they'll bung on Run to Paradise and off they go. And even when we play it live, it's like it's still a hit now.
Yes, yes.
And, I used to say that 10 years after the fact, and now it's like 30 years after the fact since it's been released. And it's and it just seems like a hit now. They always go nuts.
Mark, is that a new audience you've got for that, being 30 years ago? Is that the teenagers, the 20-year-olds of today?
Well, oddly enough, the kids love it as well. And it crosses right over. And like my kids, well, I've got a 5-year-old, but I've also got a 31-year-old, 28, 25, and twins that are 24. Now, when the twins, identical girls, when they were 14, Run to Paradise came on the radio, and they go, and the kids next to them go, in the car go, I really love this song. They go, that's my daddy. They go, you're kidding me, Yeah. And so you can see that, I don't know, it just does something to people. And you know what? You know what, Lee? I'm really pleased.
Yes. Yes, you must get a real kick out of that. I was going to say, to you, the band's been going about 40 years. You're renowned for those live shows. It must create a fantastic atmosphere for you.
Well, it does, and it's like, luckily enough, we're probably even better at it than we used. Oh, well, hang on. I've watched old videos of us live, and I go, wow, those guys were fit, And, you're talking a long time ago.
Yeah.
But it's more fun now than it ever was. And I think people appreciate that because we're not out there to, to win you, and you're going to go on and buy our records. It's not about that anymore. It's just fun.
Well, when you've established yourselves, so it is the fun, isn't it? You probably don't need all of that money now. You've got your dough or whatever, and you're doing it because it is fun and you enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah, well, we really love doing it. We love playing together. And I mean, let's face it, we're like most bands. We've been through ups and downs. And I was talking to Bones Hillman, who's the bass player from Midnight Oil, and they just got back from Europe, right, in America. Mm-hmm. And I said, what's it like now? Same question. And he goes, oh, it's so much easier. He said there's, not that pressure that there used to be, to not so much get it right, but just to win all the time. And he said it's just really relaxed now. And that's the way it always should be.
Yeah, well, back in those days, in 87 and so on, you're trying to get it out in front of the people. You're trying to make hits. And it's a big job, isn't it?
Well, it is a big job, but we still didn't take it that seriously. I remember we went out on tour with Bon Jovi. And I said, oh, look, let's have some fun. The band will all walk out on stage. Instead of, being introduced and we'll just start playing, we'll just walk out and we'll goose step out on stage. And, of course, our manager said, you will not do that. You've got to take this seriously. I went, oh, all right.
I can hear you saying that. Good on you. Well, the era of all of this back in the 1980s, we had a lot of live groups, didn't we? We had AC/DC from memory. There was a lot of them. The Men at Work comes to mind, Cold Chisel, and, of course, yourselves. And there was quite an era of these live bands.
Well, we came up through I was born in the 50s, right? So if you look at Australia coming through the 50s, 60s, 70s, and into the 80s, pub culture was part of what we did. I mean, what we did was we'd work, from 9 to 5, or even less if we could manage it, and we'd go to the pub, go to the pub, have a couple of beers and have a few laughs with our mates, and you'd want to be entertained. And we didn't know any better because during the 60s and 70s, people used to write their own songs. So it's not like, you would play covers and things like that, but people used to write their own music, and we'd talk about the things that we experienced as Australians. And so it was part of our culture to go and see bands or artists and whatever perform songs about things that we were going through. So it was an incredible time. It really was. It was amazing.
Mark, the other members of your band, Ian, Lindsay and Brett, how did you guys get to meet each other?
Well, it was like anything. You talk to any bands, and it's... they have their nightmare stories, of course, but the way that they meet is the usual. Whether they're American, the Eagles, or whatever. I was playing in this band, and then I saw this guy. This guy came up to me, and it was the same way. I remember working at a music store, and Ian and our original guitarist, Brad Carr, came into the store, and they go, "Hey, we're in this band called Hot Lips. You need to come and see us out at the Royal Antler Hotel on the Northern Beaches." And so out I go, and I go, "Wow, what a great bass player! What an amazing guitar player!" And so you sort of go, you start talking, and then a couple of years later, eventually you end up forming a band.
That's how it all happened. It was on the North Shore, wasn't it? Those northern beaches.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now tell me,
it was paradise.
The last 7 years, you've been recording your live shows, and this is how this album's come about. Is that right?
Yeah, well, it was a suggestion from our sound guy, Will, wonderful guy, and he said, "Look, I've got all my gear set up and everything like that. I'll just record every show.
Right.
And so that's great, right? But then we go, oh, well, okay, we've got all these recordings. Let's release a live album. So then you have to go through it all and go, oh my God, there's like literally thousands of this song and that song. And you go, oh boy, and if I have to listen to myself singing one more time live, I think I'll scream. It's like the album should, and I've said this before, it should be called Rough as Guts.
Really?
Because it really is rough. It's Australian pub rock as it was done in a pub.
But that's how you did it? Yeah, that's right, and that's where your audience is. They're following that and they want to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like, it's what we all remember, and I can remember some amazing bands back in the day, whatever they were, but, they used to make mistakes, and so you'll hear them on this.
Well, we'll have a listen to that very carefully because it's coming out on Monday, isn't it? It's a bit of a nostalgic trip for you in this one too, isn't it, with all those older songs and what you've done there? Does it take you back a bit?
Well, it does, because next year we're releasing a new album, which is called 1965, and then I'm in the process of writing a rock opera about Australia in the 70s to release the following year.
Right.
So this is retro, definitely. But let's face it, people will come up, we'll do new songs, and people go, no, I like your old stuff better, which I can well appreciate. We do represent a time, and as Ted Mullery said to me from TMG, Ted Mullery, he said, Mark, we are of our time, and it's true.
That's right.
We represent a certain period in Australian popular culture, and we have to honour that.
And thank goodness we had you guys as we were growing up, and the music all the way around us. You're touring with this new album. Now, it's out on Monday, isn't it? Is it online or JB?
We are looking to get it in there as we speak,
Mm-hmm.
and so I wish I could say yes, but not at this time, but we're moving towards that.
All right, so it's called Pub Rock Live, and iTunes will be the way to go then and download it online.
Yeah, it's all modern technology.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Now, you're touring right around the eastern seaboard. Sunday, November the 19th, you're down this neck of the woods at Aspendale at the Rosedale Golf Club. How do you fit everything in? You were doing some radio and television work at one stage, weren't you?
Well, I was doing, I've done, a few radio shows, because people say, mate, you know how to talk,
Yes.
you know how to say stuff, and, you know everybody, and you can get on radio and talk about things. And so I really love radio, because you go in, you smell terrible, and you look horrible. And, the dumb old adage, I've got a great face for radio. Yeah. I don't know whether that's applicable. I know some very beautiful people who do radio. But I love doing radio, So when anybody says, hey, do you want to do a show? I go, yeah, I'll jump at that. But it is very time-consuming, as you know. Mm. And you have to be on the money, and you've got to be there on time.
That's right.
And you've got to leave on time.
That's right. And all your research at the same time.
Yeah, you know that thing, research? Yeah.
It's my word. I wish you well, Mark. I'm sure this is going to go great guns for you, mate. Thanks for your time today and your busy schedule, and I hope you and I can catch up at some time in the future.
That'll be great, Lee, and thank you for having me.
Take care, pal. Okay, bye-bye to you. Mark Gable there, the lead singer of the Choirboys. The new album is out on Monday, iTunes at this stage. Have a look around at JB and those other places. You may just pick it up as time goes on. But Pub Rock Live, featuring the Choirboys.
Do a song we haven't done for a while. It's called One Hot Day. Wish us luck.